There's a lot of fear in the crypto world right now. It's almost as if it's right on schedule. Bitcoin mining has become profitable once again. The US debt has explodified, and goldbug soothsayer Peter Schiff is saying sooth stuff again. He's chiming in with another doomsday prediction about Bitcoin. There's also a lot happening around the world as far as blockchain and crypto are concerned. And we're going to give you a whirlwind view of some of the things that are happening. The world may appear to be in chaos, but we are in control of this podcast and believe every little thing is going to be all right, man. This is our bad news, episode number 734 of the Bad Crypto Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Who's bad?
Now we count down the 5s, the 4s, the 3s, the 2s, the 1, the 0. And welcome. It's the Bad Crypto Podcast, the show for the crypto curious, the crypto serious, and those that might be in between us. We are the blockchain blockheads, the crypto clowns, the DeFi doofy, the GameFi goobers, the metaverse morons, the Web3 weenies, and some would say the bad crypto badasses. Sir Lord Travis Wright and myself, Sir Lord Joel Comm, here to serve you.
Only one person ever has ever called us bad crypto badasses, and that was this random guy named John McKiffey. I don't remember his name, something like that.
Yeah, we actually have the audio of that.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know if that means we arrived or we were over at that moment, but he did.
Listen, people, he's the bad crypto badasses. What are you gonna do?
Yep, we got another news-laden show for you with the latest from the crypto world, and we're going to get into it right now because here comes that little transition music that indicates we're transitioning. Screen share. Oop. The timestamp for right now, when we are speaking, is the 8th of July, 2024, 3:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The crypto market cap, $2.18 trillion. Bitcoin had a rough week, down 11% at 56,356. Ethereum, also rough week, under $3,000, 29.97. BNB, 506. Solana 137, XRP 43 cents, Toncoin 712, and Dogecoin is rounding out the top 10 at 10.7 cents. Tough week for most.
There's been a lot of losers too this week. You know, you're going in and look at those, like what happened this last week. You talk about the few winners. Notcoin, was up 16%, which I don't even know what the hell Notcoin is.
It's not a coin. It's not a coin.
It's actually something to do with the Ton blockchain, if I recall correctly. Mantra was up, Multiverse, EGLD was up 10%. Nothing else popped up. I mean, we're looking at some of these losers. Brett, which was the Coinbase, it's the base meme project, that's down 34%. Dog with Hat down 27%. Good. Suck it, meme coins. Even Stacks is down 22%. That's the layer 2 on top of Bitcoin. So the whole market took a dump. Gala down 21%, down to 2 cents again. It's just been crazy. And really, you know what I want to say, Joel?
What do you want to say, Travis?
I just want to say, fuck you, Germany. Essentially, that's all I want to say.
But you know what? They haven't sold yet. So
they've been selling since mid-June.
I mean, look, this is regardless of the things that are happening, this is all right on schedule. If you look at the charts, once again, this is the summer doldrums that are taking place before what we believe is going to be the massive, explosive bull run that's going to happen as we get closer to the election years. The stock market goes up, Bitcoin goes up. It's like clockwork. But people are scared.
You know what else is clockwork, Joel? I mean, seriously, is this greed and fear chart?
Yep.
I mean, if we'd have been following the greed and fear, we were looking at like, oh my God, it's 80 something extreme greed. that should have been an indicator to sell, because there was it on in it was $73,400, 81% extreme greed, and then it got even higher, got up to like 85% extreme greed as well there in March, I think, something like that. That's like, anytime it's ever been that high, it doesn't keep going up. It always takes a refresher. It should have been a brilliant moment to be like, yeah, let's go ahead and get out for a little bit. But crazy times for sure.
Lot of fear right now. 28 is the fear on the indicator. Ooh, be very afraid. So you mentioned Germany.
Really fearful, really. It's like, but I mean, dude, that's a fear. That's a really, really low. If you're looking at this, even when the dips have happened before, I mean, what is it? You said it's 28?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking in here and I'm going the fear greed index. I mean, very rarely, just scroll through there. You can see in, like, summer of 2022, I see it as at 15 at one point, it was at 20. But even some of these other points, it's like fearful was like 28, 30. So it's like, this is like near the bottom of where the fear index has typically been historically, right? I mean, even before, when it's like the price was always low, and the fear and index greed, very rarely is it in the 20s, Joel.
I mean, we could go lower. There's some
we could
saying
definitely go
we could
lower.
go into the 40s. I'm skeptical of that. I kind of feel like 50 is the emotional bounce line, but what the hell do I know? I don't know anything. I know I'm hodling for the run. The German government still holds over 2 billion in Bitcoin, according to what is this, coinspeaker.com, which is the accounting for 9% of the trading volume. So they're selling off. Okay. If they were smart, they'd probably be hodling, right? Because that'd bring in a lot more for Germany if they just hodled onto that Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. But it's been a continuous sell-off, right? And so it is adding this additional pressure on Bitcoin. Not only that, I think we talked about it last week with Mt. Gox doing it. America is also liquidating some of their Bitcoin, like 4,000-ish Bitcoin that they had got from Silk Road, right? And so, this does freak out the market. It does destabilize the market, and it's sort of a rogue thing, because you can look at all the charts you want and go, oh, look at this indicator right here. This is a positive indicator that's going to show an upward trend for Bitcoin. And then you get somebody coming in and just plopping down the nuts on the table and saying, nope, we're selling all of this and we're going to continue to sell it. And there's been a lot of experts out there that have been condemning their sell-off strategy. And then even folks like Justin Sun and some other ones have been saying, dude, instead of selling it, you should have it as a strategic reserve, or sell it off market so it doesn't impact the global markets. Or just talk to Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor probably would buy some of it.
Or let it do what it does. Remember, every time there is a seller, there's a buyer. Yeah. Right. So it's not like the Bitcoin ceases to exist. Somebody is buying that Bitcoin. They're buying it cheaper, and it's fine, because when this kicks in, we're going to see those days like we were talking about before. It's like, oh, Bitcoin's up $5,000 today. We're going to see days within 12 months that Bitcoin's going to jump $10,000 in a day. That's going to happen.
And this is definitely a weird cycle. And I'm going to pull up the video that I sent you yesterday.
What's that?
On Instagram. I'm going to actually copy the link and just send it over to you.
Oh, we're going to watch your video? Okay.
Well, remember the one, we can pop it up there. I'm going to send it over. I'm going to send it over to you in Signal.
Oh,
the Instagram post where it was talking about, Satoshi Nakamoto.
This is interesting. Name. Okay. Let me go ahead and go in here, and I am going to share this and share the audio. Now, who is this guy before we play this?
It's the company is called True Perspective.
All right, let's see what he has to say. I can't hear him because he's.
And then there was no such person. There were people saying, "Is it this person or that person?" But nobody really seemed to be the actual Satoshi Nakamoto. It is a Japanese name. Yeah. Well, then let's treat it like a Japanese name, which means step one, put it in the order of Japanese names. So it's Nakamoto Satoshi. Step two, write it in Japanese. Nakamoto is very, very simple. It's Naka, which is also part of the name for China, the central kingdom, you know.
Oh, okay.
And Moto is the second character of Japan, the origin of the sun, the origin. So center, origin. And Satoshi is the Chinese character for wisdom or intelligence. Center and then Moto together is really central. Satoshi, you can translate as intelligence. So we're really saying this name means central intelligence. They like to sometimes give.
Yeah, maybe not. Who knows?
Well, I don't speak Japanese, so
Yeah.
all I'm taking is that this guy's face value. And how is it that Bitcoin, started in 2009 essentially, and why is it in 2014 is the first time we're hearing Satoshi Nakamoto means central intelligence? And we've always had this debate back and forth. Did the NSA create Bitcoin, right? How to make a mint, a digital crypto, or a digital token or something, right? So it was by somebody whose name really sounds like Satoshi Nakamoto. So if you go and look at that paper from 1996, I look at that and I go, So Joel, devil's advocate, why is the German government selling all their Bitcoin? Why is USA selling all their Bitcoin? Just as a devil's advocate, do they know something we don't know? I mean, it's weird. It's kind of a weird thing.
Not convinced nor persuaded, but will definitely say, okay, I was wrong if it turns out that was wrong.
It's good to let our people know, because that's a possibility. I mean, we've always thought that it's a possibility, and if so, it's a long con for a long rug pull, baby.
Well, meanwhile, Bitcoin mining profitability has rebounded after the halving impact. Newly minted Bitcoin, newly U.S. listed mining companies have increased their share of newly minted Bitcoin up to 20.8% due to added mining capacity and a decline in hash rate. This is a positive up, and modest recovery is what they're calling it right now. So, we shall see. Mining companies are on the upswing right now. In fact,
there's less Bitcoin available, but with the hash rate decreasing, right, that makes it easier, so they can mine more by having more devices out there doing it. And so, a lot of Bitcoin miners are shifting towards high performance computing and AI hosting to diversify those revenue streams, according to this article, to capitalize on the growing demand for AI and cloud computing. But we'll see what happens if Bitcoin goes up to 150, 200,000, like some were saying. Then, get this cheap Bitcoin now, right?
There's more stories about Bitcoin miners because I don't really care about the story, but it's in our show notes if you guys want to check it out at badco.in/734. You will find links to all of the stories that we reference here in show notes. Of course, the doomsayers are still out there. Peter Schiff is saying smart money is selling, dumb money is buying it through ETFs. And he says, quote, they set up Bitcoin ETF investors to be the bag holders. Now, I'm looking at it this way. I'm going big money, the huge financial institutions that are doing these ETFs that are moving into Bitcoin, they're not dumb. They didn't get to be super wealthy and controlling the world because they are dumb. They are not going to sleep on Bitcoin. They manipulate stocks as it is. Tell me that they're not going to run this thing up so that they get massive profits from their involvement. I can't guarantee anything, but if I was going to guarantee something, that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, and I would say, it depends on if there's hidden information that we just don't know, right? And so if smart money is they got information we don't have, and my thought, that's one of the problems I've always had with this, Joel, is that if big money, traditional finances jumping in like BlackRock, buying up big portions of Bitcoin, and then look at Germany. They have a ton of Bitcoin. They can just drop it all on the market and manipulate the market whenever they like. And so is that what's going to happen? BlackRock holds the Bitcoin. The ETF investors, they don't hold the Bitcoin. They hold shares in the ETF. So if BlackRock was wanting to, do a net outflow, or any of these other ones are, there was a net outflow on Friday alone of $143 million. So keep an eye on that. We want to look at the inflows versus the outflows of those Bitcoin ETFs. and you start seeing people like BlackRock dumping, then you know that's not good. Hopefully that's not the case. And but right now the market is definitely looking bearish for
Well, it's
now.
not good for the short term, but long term, Bitcoin is either going to thrive based on its own merits or it's not. And I don't see anything that has changed fundamentally at all. We could talk about trading ups and downs all day long. Nothing changes. Except, well, you know what else doesn't change? Peter Schiff's predictions don't change. In 2012, Bitcoin was $1 and gold was $1,700 an ounce. In 2023, skip 2023, let's go right to now. Bitcoin's worth
Right.
56,000. Gold is worth 2,300. So you tell me, what is the better investment? Like if he
Dude,
had bought Bitcoin,
he just took 1 ounce of gold because he's got a fuck ton of it, and just bought 1,700 Bitcoin and be like, okay, well, let's see what I lose. I lose 1 ounce of gold, 1,700 bucks. What would you do? And he was all like, dude, he was immediately hating on it. He's always hated on it. Like that doesn't make sense because even he knows that gold and silver are manipulated through fake paper versions of it, and paper money is a big fraud. So like at least with Bitcoin, there's algorithms behind it that control that basically say this is all they're going to be, right? And so there's a lot of people have a whole lot of faith in Bitcoin, and I mean, as do us. We're doing the show, but I mean, I'm always going to have that devil's advocate thing because I just don't ever really trust government.
yeah, well, why would you, especially when our government is completely out of control? The US debt has exploded. Look at this. $876 billion more in debt in the last 6 months. And the next CIA director is saying that our balance sheet is a national security threat. Well, of course it is. Of course it is. So our national debt is now $34 trillion. So it increased in 6 months, almost $1 trillion in debt. Now, I don't care what Mike Pompeo has to say, but that apparently he's the one who's quoted in this article. I don't think you need to be a former military or government intelligence to say, this is really bad. This is a really bad thing that we are so far in debt.
Well, one of the things he does emphasize is that the debt to GDP ratio over this next decade is supposed to go from 97% last year to 122% in the next decade. That's telling me it's not going to be so long when we look back and go, oh my God, we're $50 trillion in debt.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, who do we owe that to? And a lot of times it's those global banksters, the global banksters who run and control most of the things. So you allow people to control bankers to control the paper currency, and we got big problems. I mean, why do we still have pennies? We don't even need pennies anymore. We don't even need nickels almost at this point, and we still $100 bills our biggest one. How long until we see $1,000 bill? We need $1,000 bill now at this point. I mean, this is crazy.
There are some that are fighting the centralization of digital currencies, CBDCs, and in North Carolina, their state Congress voted to ban central bank digital currencies, and the governor of the state, Roy Cooper, vetoed it.
Yeah.
Said, nope, not going to allow this.
Look at it though. Look how lopsided it was. It was 109-4 vote in the House and a 39-5 vote in the Senate, and almost unanimously. And so who is this Governor Cooper? Who is he tied to? Who's the big money pulling his strings? Because that's the next question.
Right. Well, the good news is that legislators could override the veto with a 3/5 majority in both chambers, which they clearly have it. So they need to go back and vote, and they're going to be like, up yours, Governor Cooper. You can veto it, and I don't know who's you were on your knees in front of who, but
well, this was probably a CYA kind of thing for Cooper, cover your ass, because he's like, look, I vetoed it. I did what I was supposed to do. And then the House and Senate of that state goes, nope, we're going to do 3. Dude, they need 75% of the votes, and they have way more they have like 90%, 95%. So clearly the veto is worthless, and that's just him posturing for whatever purpose.
correct. Meanwhile, around the world, there are things happening, and we mentioned that that we were going to take a quick look at some of those things. One of them here is in Russia. The central bank there is going to pilot their digital ruble. The digital ruble. By the way, I saw a video, which I'm assuming the translation was close to accurate. Saw a video this morning of Putin talking to the press saying, we don't have to do anything to the U.S. They're imploding themselves politically. And he said, look at what they did to the last President Trump. Everybody around the world knows that this is BS, that what they've done to him is a total nonsense. And he's like, we don't need to fight with the U.S. Their infighting is doing it themselves.
Yeah. That was one of the things that I was actually looking for when the right when the Russian Ukraine issue was beginning. I was like, dude, is there any, because do I want these in my stable coins in dollars, or I'd like to maybe have some Russian stable coins, or some of these other coins. It's almost like when you're doing Forex, but it's almost like, is there a Forex for stable coins in different markets? Because it's almost like I would have liked to have had some that could be converted back, because there was such an arbitrage opportunity at some of this point. And then, with countries like Russia and even China and the BRICS that are saying, hey, we're going to this. I don't really think their CBDC. I don't like CBDCs anyway. It should be a stable coin connected to some sort of assets. And so they did have it nearly right before when they were talking about doing a Russian-backed digital currency backed by gold. Remember when they were talking about that?
Not going to happen, though. In fact, they want to be in control of their digital currency, and they don't want crypto exchanges in Russia. They want to keep tokens out of the national economy, which is what you would expect from a communist country. But would you expect that here at home?
Right.
Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to happen in America. We're supposed to encourage the people to innovate and develop. Back across the pond here to Venezuela, sanctions from the U.S., spiraling inflation, and government corruption have created an economic nightmare for Venezuelans, like they didn't have one already. All right.
Right. It's a nightmare on top of the nightmare that they've already had.
Nightmare on Venezuela Street. So cryptocurrencies accounted for 9% of the $5 billion in remittances sent to Venezuela. And they've increased every single year since 2018. This chart here, what does this mean?
Says
Crypto
the growing
purchasing
disparity between Venezuela's national currency and cryptocurrencies, and crypto purchase with the VES, with the Venezuelan whatever currency theirs is, compared to the value of the other one. So look at that.
Remember this in 2018, we were talking about when the government there created the Petro, and it's failed because people don't want to use it. Because why do people want to use another government currency? They already don't trust their government legitimately.
Well, remember we had the conversation around that. It was not only a new government currency, but it's literally siphoning away future wealth from Venezuela, selling those oil contracts from oil that doesn't even exist, that they've not even mined yet, right? And so it is mining. What do you do when you oil? You mine? You don't mine the oil, do you?
Well, you drill.
You drill it. Yeah, that's right. That's the word I was looking for.
Drill,
baby.
Drill, baby, drill.
Kind of mining. You're kind of you're pulling it out, but yeah.
So
also in the news is in the African crypto market is growing under Solana. So this right here is talking about how
shitcoins.
They are maturing the crypto market, and for some odd reason they really love Solana. And you're right, it's those shit coins. They're trying. This Nigerian prince out there is like, I have all of these Pepe coins, and you can inherit them. Just send me your wallet private keys.
Why would you assume they talk like that?
I don't know, man. That was the best.
That's
best
racist.
version I had. I didn't do any of the clicks though. You could have done the click, but I didn't.
That's okay. We'll go from Africa back to further along on the eastern side of the hemisphere. Japan's active crypto trading population expected to hit 500,000 in 2024. So it is rising.
Daily users. That's what's huge. I think there's way more than 500,000 total, but this is talking about daily users of crypto.
Yep. So more, again, this is why when we look at prices going up and down and ancillary things that are affecting the price because it makes people afraid. Remember, this is programmable money. There's only 21 million. The halving just happened. It's slowing down in the number of Bitcoin that are coming into supply. There's no stopping this beast. And let's see, from Japan to, oh, this has nothing to do with being around the world, but from Decrypt, apparently degens are betting on Biden's woes. Bowden, I guess, was the one that had a big week. The Bowden token.
Yeah. Well, there's a betting site on Poly Market that enables folks to go in and make bets on what they think. And so they're thinking Kamala Harris is the one that's going to win the nomination.
Possibly
now.
the least qualified person ever in the history of ever to be president of the United States.
You know what's interesting is that it almost seems like, and not to get too political on this, but
go ahead, do it. I don't care.
Sometimes I actually was watching an interview from Tucker Carlson from a few years back talking about how the powers that be sort of railroaded Nixon, and how Nixon was one of the very most popular presidents and actually won by a larger margin than anybody has won before or since. He had over 17 million more votes or something, and I don't even know what percentage that was. And then he was coming after the deep state. He was coming after the CIA, and then the Watergate happened. And then what's weird is that 4 or 5 of the burglars of the Watergate thing were CIA assets.
And
Wow.
Watergate is nothing compared to what the Democrats did with the Steele dossier and manipulating the 2016 election and what they've done with the 2020. Nothing pales in comparison. We're talking treason.
Here's the thing on that the point that I wanted to get, and I agree, I totally agree. It's a whole other rabbit hole. But what's wild was, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they? So it was Nixon, and then wasn't Spiro Agnew his vice president?
Yes.
And then Spiro Agnew, they edged him out, and then they put in Gerald Ford, right?
Yes, correct.
And then so he was not elected. Gerald Ford was not elected at all. And then Gerald Ford had his own VP, which I wasn't that like Rockefeller or something. Nelson Rockefeller was his VP. So these dudes were not even elected. These were assets that were placed. And they said, hey, you're not going to get rid of us. We're going to get rid of you. And they did. And not only that, but they've sullied the reputation of Nixon. I always thought Nixon was a piece of shit because that's what I've heard.
That's what we've been told. I am not a crook.
Researched it on my own. I was like, oh yeah, what a shitbag he is. But yeah, weird.
I am not a crook. That's what we're.
So my point is, Kamala. Right now, they're going to wait to a certain time. Then they're going to put somebody in as the VP under Kamala. Probably could be Hillary or Big Mike or Gavin Newsom, one of them. And then what's going to happen? Oh, they're going to eliminate Kamala somehow, and then they're going to put their person in president that wasn't even voted. They're going to try to do the Nixon thing again.
You said Big Mike. I just picked up on that.
If it's not clear to you at this point what's going on with that was the big facilitator of the whole trans movement, and Big Mike is all about it. So what are you gonna do?
You know, I this has really been puzzling to me, right? There's certain people in our society, in our culture, that see things from outside of our political parties and are able to discern and ask questions. You know, how do we know this is true? What does the evidence tell us? To not believe we believe what our eyes and ears say, not what they tell us our eyes and ears should believe. Yeah. What is it about an individual that determines which side of that they're going to fall on, that they are trapped in the matrix with the blue pill and they just eat it all up? You know, they watch The View, they watch these talk shows, they watch CNN, they believe all of it. They go to these protests and don't even know what they're actually protesting. Useful idiots. What is it in human DNA that causes that division in whether we get it or we don't?
Is it cognitive dissonance, or is it there's another one, cognitive bias?
I mean, we all have that to some degree, right? None of us have everything right, but there's so many things that you can go, hey, this is 2 and this is 2 and that equals 4. And somebody will come to you and say, nope, it's not. And all you got to do is just look at the whole gender thing and say, how many genders are there? Well, we don't know. actually. There could be hundreds. There could
Yeah.
there could be billions. Oh, so basically names. That's
Yeah. So I would say this, that it's part of the government indoctrination camps, right? And how, I was thinking about this the other day, is that, there's an absorbent amount of single mothers raising kids without any
Mhm.
masculinity at all.
Mhm.
And so I think it's not that there's toxic masculinity, that there's a minimal amount of masculinity that a lot of these kids are growing up with. And then their teachers are also mostly female. I don't even know what the statistics are, but it's probably
Or
what, 70,
non-binary or
80%. Yeah.
pansexual or
Well,
trans or
they're just mostly feminine. All right. I think it really should be, are you masculine or are you feminine? It's not, are you a man or woman? It's like, are you masculine or are you feminine? Because now there's a lot more effeminate men now than ever before. And that's probably a result of too much estrogen in their food, and they eat too much soy. And I don't even know. But the question comes into, you believe certain things because, I mean, dude, just kind of like me with Nixon right there. And I was going like, dude, I always thought Nixon was horrible. So Nixon's horrible. Fuck Nixon. Right. I would have never even. So I think that school has a way of destroying people's curiosity. They have to go and learn, sit down and shut up and learn what we're going to tell you. This is what's going to be on the test. They don't want critical thinkers or problem solvers. They want people to regurgitate what they're being told, because they've always looked for creating employees for their factories and stuff.
This is why I appreciate people like Charlie Kirk and Turning Point that are going to these college campuses, setting up a tent for dialogue, saying college is a scam. And he's right, because 50% of the people that pay for their degree will not have a job based on that degree. And
well, they don't want debate, dude. They don't want that. They want to scream at your face. If you think something different than them, then you're a racist Nazi or something.
But they do discuss. Some of them discuss very reasonably, and some of them just come off as, great video for for the masses to watch and laugh at how out of touch they are. But anyway, I digress.
I will say this as a final point, and I don't disagree with that. But I would say is that there is a few people who is on the extreme left, and there's a few people that's on the extreme right, and the vast majority is in this wide center now. And we don't buy all this bullshit, but because the media is mostly controlled by the wide or the far left, and then even a lot of those people that's in the wide center are getting sort of bamboozled by it. Because, dude, I mean, I remember having conversations with brilliant people in Silicon Valley, and they were like, Travis, 51 intelligence agents all signed a document and said, Trump did this, Trump did that. And I was like, but dude, look who runs those people.
Right.
Like,
they don't pause to ask, who are these people? Why is this the story? It's like the whole global warming thing where they had X number of scientists say that, we're all that global warming is a threat to humanity. But nobody stops and asks, well, who are these people?
Right.
Who's behind them? And what agenda do they have?
Dude,
and
we've been 9 years away from climate disaster ever since I was a kid reading. We've been 9 years away every year since I started reading. What was it? In school, and they were reading their weekly readers like, oh, by the year 1984.
Dude, hold my beer. In 1975, I was reading my dad's National Geographic. I was 11 years old, and the cover story on it and the narrative that was being pushed in the media was the coming ice age.
Yeah.
Everybody was made to be terrified that we were going to freeze to death in the 70s. Look it up, gang.
No, I totally agree. I'm saying it's a perpetual 9 years in the future. Oh, in 9 years. Yeah. I mean, because I remember reading this I remember this in the late 70s when I was like, 7 or something, going, oh man, this is gonna be horrible. Oh, by the time I'm 16, by the time I'm 20, it's gonna be, oh wait, here comes Al Gore. Oh man, in 9 years, oh my God, oh Greta Thunberg, oh in 9 years, oh you're stealing my future.
It's funny because
it's a perpetual. And then what happens is so funny is if you look, these politicians go and buy houses at Martha's Vineyard that's like literally 3 feet away from the ocean.
Yep.
And what? Come on.
Yeah, well, there's a picture that you could see the Statue of Liberty from the 50s and from today, and you can see the water levels are identical, the same. So anyway,
what happens on that? Let me ask that real quick. So do you think, like, we know that the icebergs melt, and we know, and that's fresh water. So does that just goes up into the atmosphere and just gets rain somewhere else, and then it probably just goes in the aquifer somewhere underneath the water? It's probably, but it's not raising the water.
The climate changes It is correct. It's called weather cycles.
It's called being the third planet from the sun.
Yeah, it's
A big
called cycles.
fireball in the space.
Somebody out there right now listening to the show is for the first time going, maybe I should think about that. And that person, whoever you are, kudos to you, because that's really what we all need to be doing is when confronted with something that might make us feel uncomfortable or challenge what we currently believe, to be able to go, let me do some research and actually question what I believe, because I could be wrong. And I've changed my beliefs so many times, but yeah, I'm not changing this belief, Travis. Here is a dissection of the Bitcoin market cycles. Okay. If we look back here, you could see we hit an all-time high and then boom, 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 down from 2011 to 2015. The halving happens. We go up. Now we went up earlier this time, but then come down, and then boom, we peak and then hits the bottom. Look at this cycle in 2017. Halving happens, we go down and then slowly up to a peak and then down again. And then here we are, 2021. Halving happens, market goes up, comes back down, we hit a peak and then down again. Well, guess what? Do we have a you are here chart? We don't have a you are here chart. Well, yeah, we kind of do. Right about here. So here's the 2021 peak. And if the chart stays the same on this 4-year cycle, this is like clockwork, guys. Look, 723 days between peaks, 717 days between peaks, 720 days between here and what they're predicting is the 2025 peak. These ups and downs right now, it's just noise. It's just noise. And anybody telling you that this is why this thing is happening, just like weather goes in cycles, stocks, bonds, gold, crypto, it all trades in cycles. That's all I have to say about that.
That's good. I mean, my whole thought is like, dude, could you imagine though? I always look at this and I go, dude, do you imagine if the central intelligence decides that somehow there's backdoor, there's something weird with Bitcoin, or they all dump it, or they have access to Satoshi's wallet that's got 1 million tokens in it or something, and it's just like,
it's not a 0% chance.
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly.
It's not a 0% chance, and black swans do happen, and so that's why it's risky. That's why
welcome to the roller coaster, folks.
Yeah, put your hands up.
Risk tolerant ones, so it's like let's roll.
So the Chinese in the world of AI are teaching a monkey to control a robot by putting a brain chip in his monkey brain, which is kind of what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink.
Yeah.
So,
which is almost like the Finky token we were talking about a couple weeks ago, and how get a monkey to trade. Now they're gonna have a monkey going to control a robot? How long until the robots control the monkey?
I think the monkeys are already running things, to be candid. That's what I think is happening. At least not here. We're not monkeys here. We are orangutans, which are not monkeys.
Right. Okay.
What are the
kind of a chimpanzee sometimes, but
what are the primates that have the blue butt?
I saw the most hilarious video last night of Shaquille O'Neal, and he was like, "Every zoo I've ever gone to, the gorillas, they just come to me and they look at me like, oh my God." And they just give him a side-eye look like
this king of the jungle right there.
Oh my God. There's got to be a video somewhere of Shaq going to a zoo and just like video that shit, dude. That's hilarious.
Hey, I'm really curious,
dude. He's one of my favorites all time.
Those of you listening to the show, do you listen? What do you enjoy the most? Give us some feedback. Send us either comment on the video or on the podcast, or send us an email to badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. Do you like when we go off the rails and talk about what's interesting to us? Do you like when we stick to crypto and Bitcoin? What do you want? Tell us what you want more of. I'm not saying that we're gonna do it, but I want your opinion. Badcryptopodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you like and what you want more of.
I think if they're still listening now, they enjoy it. The ones that hated us talking about politics, like they stopped listening in 2020
or before.
Well, yeah. they really, because we were pissed off about that complete. Like, oh no, they're like, oh, what do you mean people don't get the vaccination? You're gonna kill so many people by recommending people don't get the vaccination.
Hey, the
Right again.
receipts are out there, gang. We were
Yeah.
right. We're right about all of it. The episodes are all there, all the way back to 2017.
Yeah.
And believe me, the future, the evidence for how the Democrats stole the election. Yes, you heard me say it again, stole, is there. You just haven't heard it. You just haven't seen it, because what you've been told is that, well, all of the courts denied. Okay, that might be
Even
true.
Robert Kennedy Jr. was talking about that the other day, because it's like that 51 intelligence agencies who said that Hunter Biden laptop was fake Russian propaganda, knowing that they knew that it was real and they blatantly lied. That right there should be like, oh, hey, wait a second. And the other one that I'll always say is, wait a second, they're coming after all these people who are saying things they don't like. But guess how many Epstein clients have been arrested?
Zero.
Why?
Zilch.
Because the CIA would lose their blackmail capabilities if they let everybody know about that what was going on. So they don't want to lose their blackmail, because then they lose their power.
Wait, are you saying the CIA is made up of only black males?
No.
What is that? Is that
That's
like
their blackmail. They will
DEI?
blackmail you. They're blackmailing all these politicians and Hollywood people because they have these really crazy sex videos of them doing crazy shit with people they probably shouldn't have been doing. Either they were cheating on a spouse, or they were doing something with somebody
Pedophilia.
underage, or who knows. And so they don't want that cat out of the bag, baby.
Hey, thanks for listening. We appreciate those of you that have stuck with Team Travis and Joel, coming up on our 7th anniversary, our bad anniversary, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Next week's the bad.
Next week. Oh my gosh. Yeah, next week is an interesting interview we've got coming your way as well. So we'll catch you then, and stay bad.
Who's bad?
The Bad Crypto Podcast is a production of Bad Crypto LLC. The content of the show, the videos, and the website is provided for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. It's not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. You shouldn't make any decisions as to finances, investing, trading, or anything else based on this information without undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional financial advisor. Please understand that the trading of Bitcoins and alternative cryptocurrencies have potential risks involved. Anyone wishing to invest in any of the currencies or tokens mentioned on this podcast should first seek their own independent professional financial advisor.